Well, hello there, boys and girls. Welcome back to Billy's Blades and Tools. I'm going to try my hand at another leather project that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. And so I thought I'd try to videotape some of this. I know I did that one fixed blade sheath. I didn't do any of the recording on that because I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, but that's why I'm doing this with the kits, because I'm trying to learn. But I picked up this kit at Hobby Lobby. It's called a backpacker's knife or sheath. It's you can wear it on your belt, or they show it on a strap on a backpack. But I thought I'd give this one a try. It's got some fairly simple instructions for a simple person. Anyway, it comes in multiple pieces. It's got 4 different pieces here. Comes with needle and thread, the leather that you need. I'm going to be dyeing it with this Fibings, I don't know how you say it. Anyway, I'm going to use the dark brown that I used on the other sheath. I also picked up some leather and suede glue, so I might try to glue the pieces first just to hold things together while it's being sewn, because of all the multiple pieces. And I had a thought that, well, let me just show you. This is the backing of it, and you know, this is the rough side, or I don't know what you call that yet. I'm still learning how to all the terminology, but this gets sewn on the back. It's got a snap set up here for putting it on your backpack strap or a belt. So the instructions tell you to, start sewing here until you get around to this point, and then you add this in there and continue around. And they use the running stitch, not the saddle stitch. I don't think I'm ready for the saddle stitch yet, so I'll probably just do the running stitch like I did on the other sheath. And but I wanted to try, get the tool out, maybe stamping a little design on the cover part here. I've got this tool here. Hopefully you can see that okay. And I thought about doing a design, like on this edge, all along here on the edge here. Nothing exotic, something fairly simple just to start out with. I watched a few videos about how to do that. I also picked up a couple tools here for cleaning up the edges of the leather here on here, which I've already used it to round off the edges there, smooth them out. I did that off camera just so I didn't screw it up, but I'm still learning here, so it turned out pretty good. We got 2 different sizes. I forget what the size numbers are, but one's bigger than the other. Cuts a bigger swath of leather off there, so I used the larger one. Yeah, I used this one here to do it. It worked pretty good. They're pretty sharp, so I'll keep they got little plastic covers that go on the end there to protect them. So got that, added that to my leather working stuff. I did buy some daubers for the leather dye. I got a pack of like 10 of them off of Amazon. So as I hopefully continue to do this, I'll buy some different colored dyes if I decide that I want to continue doing this. So got that now. But first thing I'm going to do is I guess you have to wet this and then to do my stamping. And I've got a mallet. I'll have to get it from the garage before I start this, but I just wanted to show you what my next project is going to be. So let me carry on here and get things started. Okay, well, first thing I got to do is wet the leather. So I've got a little spray bottle here that I'm going to let that absorb in there a little bit. Yeah, let that sit there. Yeah, let me wipe up some of this water out here. Not sure exactly how wet it needs to be, but we'll saturate that a little bit, let it soak in. I'm just going to be doing the edges here, so don't need the entire thing wet. So let me get my mallet and my tool, and we'll start pounding on it. Okay, well, got my mallet, got my tool. Now, I've never done this before, so I'm thinking I'll start right here in the middle and work my way to the edge. I think. So, let's move this back a little bit. Yeah, not too bad. Not perfectly even on each side, but hey, that's what happens when there's an amateur doing it. So I'll pull this back just a little bit. See if I can get that centered properly. Okay, well, I guess that'll do for now. Give it a little bit of texture. Just wondering if I should run something down here too. I don't know. Let me see what. Yeah, you know what? What the heck? We're going to go for it. Well, not exactly a straight line, but that's how we learn, right? Right. So let's keep on going down the line here. Yeah, I kind of like that better. So once it's all dry, we'll start staining this stuff. Actually, I can probably start staining the other pieces. Set this back here. Set the mallet aside. Clean up the water. And then we'll start looking at staining. Okay, well, I think I'm going to start staining 3 of the pieces while the other piece that I just stamped dries. I know that's going to take a while, but I'm going to use my little dauber here. Give that a try. I used a small brush on that other sheath and didn't really like doing it that way, but we'll try using the dauber and see how that works. So, and do it while I'm trying to videotape. So, yeah, I'm kind of liking that. Looks pretty good. And I should have put some gloves on my fingers, on my hands. But I always think of that afterwards. But, so I got that part. Get around all these snap thingies here. That's the nice thing about the stain. It doesn't really dry on the snaps. I can wipe that off later. But give that a extra coating around the edges there. I know it looks really dark now, but it lightens up once it starts drying. You can probably see already that's lightened up there. So, yeah, so I thought I'd try another adventure here. See if I want to continue trying to do some leather work. I like trying new things. Ever since I stopped working on motorcycles and whatnot, which I've done for a majority of my life, been looking for other things to keep me busy in retirement. So the knife thing has kept me kind of busy. So I thought, well, I'll try some leather work. So yeah, see, that's already lightened up as it's soaked in. And we'll do the back side here. Just get everything coated. Get back in the camera there. Yeah, so I like the dauber. Works pretty good. Yeah. I'm glad I made that purchase. Just trying to purchase just a few things at a time. Don't want to dive into it real deep and decide that I don't like it. But so far it's looking, I'm enjoying doing this, trying to learn how to do things. So we'll see how it goes here. Next time I'll put on some rubber gloves. End up with some brown fingers here. Yep, but that's okay. So yeah, kind of like the way this stuff is turning out here. Maybe do a little bit more dark on Add a little more to the edges here to give it maybe a stressed look. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. Let's just do the whole thing here. It'll look good. Yep, it'll be just fine. That's kind of the back side anyway, so that's going to get worn. And then when I get to the part that I stamped, we'll see how that looks later on. But right now, still all the edges here. Yeah, see, I'm gonna have to add a little bit more there. Really lightens up once it starts drying and soaking in. But I guess that's how I learn. See what looks good. Yeah. So do these edges here. Let me get down in there. Get everything coated good. Yeah. I do like the dauber. Works a lot better than a brush. Yeah, there we go. Get down in here. Yeah, that worked pretty good. Yeah, just add some color to it. Darken this back side up a little bit. Second coat. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, didn't do too bad. What to make rags for, but now I want to show you something here. I had my wife save some plastic tubes. These plastic tubes that tiny M&Ms came in. Got a little cap that opens up. I took the plastic cover off, and I got to thinking, the dauber is a little too long for it, but it gives me a place to put the dauber once I'm done. Close that up so I don't spill it. But maybe I can bend the end to get it to fit down in there and close it up. I don't know. I don't know. Do the daubers dry out after they sit? Or do they stay pretty damp? I don't know. We'll find out. Because I've never used one like that before. But I'm thinking if I can, maybe I can, I don't want to smash it down in there. Maybe if I bend it a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. Now I'll write on here dark brown leather dye or something like that. But there you go. I've got 6 of these. I got 2 red ones and I think 4 blue ones total. But I think that'll work pretty good for daubers. If I get more in my collection, well, then I'll just add it to the lineup of my leather working stuff. But I'll get you a closer look here. I think that's going to look pretty good. Once everything is assembled, maybe I can dye the edges a little more. I don't know. I'm going to let this dry overnight. And I forgot to do the back side of this one. And so guess what? I got to get the dauber back out. Oh yeah. Well, always something, isn't it? So let's get that dauber back out. We'll see how it works with the bent end on it. And we'll go from there. So get down in there, get some stain. I just want to make sure everything's covered so that you don't see any light areas somewhere. I know once it's all assembled it might not matter, but this way everything is a darker brown color and we'll be good to go. There we go. Now everything's done, front and back. Yep. Not worried about it being darker or anything on the inside part. So we'll just go ahead and put the dauber back in there, close her up. She's good to go. So there we go, boys and girls. Did a little dye job there. So once the cover part of this sheath or knife holder, whatever it's called, what did they call this? Backpacker's knife sheath. Okay. Yeah, I like the fact that you put a knife in there with a pocket clip. Makes it real easy to carry. And we'll see how it turns out once I get it all assembled. So next up will be staining the part that I stamped. Well, I went ahead and finished up the sheath. I decided to go ahead and do it all off camera because I still don't know for sure what I'm doing. I had a lot of educational experiences with this one. I started out, as you know, I stained or dyed the leather. Did some stamping here. Turned out okay. I did some gluing of the pieces here to help me keep things together, keep it straight. I put some toothpicks through some optimal holes there just to keep things lined up while the glue dried. So that all worked out pretty good. This piece here I didn't glue anything before I sewed it. So I decided that I would start out and try my hand at a saddle stitch. I used the original dark thread that came with it, and as I showed you before, this was multiple pieces. There were a total of 4 pieces for this. You got the main part, this part here, and then 2 pieces here for the snap. So you can put this on a strap. They say you can put it on a belt, but I gotta tell you, the belt has to be pretty thin. This doesn't seem to work very well. Anyway, I started out doing a saddle stitch, and I started on probably one of the sides here, working my way around. This piece here was of course flat originally, and I'm working my way around, struggling with keeping this thing in line. And I got to thinking, man, by the time I come around here trying to hold this into place while this is all humped up, to make the hole there for the knife, it's just not going to work. So I pulled all that out. I have some other thread, wax thread for doing this, so I picked one of the lighter colors and I just decided to do the running stitch like they call for in the instructions. So I know in the back of my mind, I remembered, about measuring out the string. They talk about doing about 4 times the length of the project. So I kind of measured around 1/2 and told myself, instead of 4 times, I got to do it 8 times this length. Well, when I did the actual measuring, I did it 4 times. So guess what? Started here, come around, and figured out my mistake. So I continued on around here and had to stop because I was running out of thread. Stop, tied everything off, and then remeasured again 4 times the length because I'm only doing half. Started again, went around, had to tie it off in 2 different places. Lesson learned. Pay attention to what you're doing when you're measuring. But it made it easier doing the running stitch to hold this other side into place while this was, being formed. So it made it a lot easier than trying to do the saddle stitch. So did that, and it came out okay. I used this tool here to try to soften up the edges here. I didn't have any of the right stuff that you're supposed to put on here to help polish it up, but I just using this itself helped smooth out the edges more and round them off. So anyway, it turned out pretty good. Now I'm going to give this to my grandson because he's got a fishing backpack that he uses a lot. So this is going to work good on his on one of his straps. He's already excited about getting it. I was carrying a knife in here for a little bit just to see how it would fit, and of course the pocket clip left a little mark there. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, but that's okay. That's what it was designed for. Put a knife in there that has a pocket clip. That way it doesn't fall out. But all in all, it turned out pretty good. And I think my next project is going to be something that's a little simpler with less pieces. And I'll do a saddle stitch on that. I'm still learning how to do it. I have to watch videos to remind myself how it works. But yeah, so that turned out pretty good. Get you a little closer there. But the one pocket knife that I used fit right in there good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So for an amateur, I think I did okay. I think it'll hold up. So I'll be giving this to my grandson. He can put that on his backpack and carry on. So I think I'll try one more Hobby Lobby project. I think I'm going to pick up another one of those fixed blade knife sheaths just to do something different with it. And I'll probably try the saddle stitch on that. I've got a couple of knives, fixed blade knives that need sheaths. So I'm going to continue on with the little kits just to make things a little easier for me. I don't have the equipment to cut leather and all that yet. I'm still trying to figure out if that's something I want to do. I know one thing that you guys that do all this leather work, I commend you for doing all that stitching by hand. I know my hands got a little cramped. I had to get out my needle nose pliers to pull the needle through because these 71-year-old hands just don't hold up like they used to. But that's something you got to learn. And the pliers made it a whole lot easier, especially doing the running stitch because they only had one needle to pull through. But yeah, I don't have a stitching pony or anything like that. if I decide I want to continue doing that, I'll probably make something simple that I can use just to do simple projects. So anyway, I hope everybody has a blessed week, and everybody try to be nice to one another, and you take care.